Well, hello and welcome back to the Daily Brew, the devotional where every day we drink a new brew of coffee and we see what God is brewing for us in the Bible. Yes, it's cheesy, but it's true, and you join me here in Auckland, New Zealand for day 230. Well done! 230 days of Bible reading, man. That is not to be taken lightly. And I'm so glad that you're here with me in Auckland, New Zealand. No matter where you are around the world, welcome to my kitchen. I pray that you're going to have a great day today. Unless you've already had your day, I hope it was a great one. Hey, let's have a look at what scriptures we're going to be reading. As always, they're in the descriptions below on every platform. Psalm 99, verse 1 to 9 is what we're reading there. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 to 26. And a new book, Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 1 to chapter 4, verse 16. So those are our scriptures that we're going to be reading today. Make sure you have a read of those and get into that. Before we go any further, though, let's talk brews. And for the final time today, right here, right now, we're going to be having our Brazil Coupe Fam from the Atomic Roasters. Now, you'll remember from yesterday, I did enjoy the Chemex vibe of that coffee. So today I'm going to try this as the espresso, and I'm going to see how that feels today. Remember, we're looking for macadamia, milk chocolate, and pear. So let's see how this compares. Huh? Stop it. That was gross. I apologize. Okay. Quite sweet initially, then rounds out, and there you get the macadamia. That's lovely. Macadamia, no pear though. So it's very sweet initially, no pear. Macadamia, like a milk chocolate macadamia combo, quite lovely there. This is quite hot because I just made it, but I think if it cooled down just a little bit more, I think you'd get an even better flavor, an even better taste in there. I like this. I'm going to give this an 8.6 out of 10. I don't know when we started doing the rating system, but we're doing it. So 8.6 out of 10 for the Brazil macadamia milk chocolate pear Coupe Man. Is that what it's called? Coupe Man. Coupe Fam, in it. Anyway, let's move on quickly. Let's get into the Bible, the reason that we are here. Our relationship with God is intimate in nature. It's a personal relationship, one where we get to have ownership over our part. The ownership isn't something that should be taken for granted, though. God is who He is. He is holy and mighty and wonderful. In fact, the best thing we can do with our ownership is to release it to God. What do you see when you read this psalm? I see the holiness of God. The word holy emphasizes the distance between God and human beings. God is holy, and we are not. Listen, the challenge with that is that God expects us to be holy like Him. And this is a pretty big gap. If God is holy and we're not, but God expects us to be holy, that's a huge gap between us and God. Something needed to happen to help close the gap between us. And that something was a someone, and His name is Jesus. Now through Him, we can be holy through His grace and through His blood, and we can share in that intimacy with God. And that is something that is worth praising for. Even if you have nothing else going on in your life at any given moment, the fact that Jesus died for you and that you have access to God now through His blood is a reason to praise. Moving to Auckland from Wellington was a very interesting experience for many reasons. Auckland is the biggest city in New Zealand, and you'd think that in the biggest city of New Zealand, loneliness wouldn't really be an issue. But here in Auckland, we quickly found out that the spirit over Auckland is a spirit of loneliness. Now, you and I are not designed to live alone. God created us for community. Like the body has many parts, but remains connected, you and I are meant to operate in the same way. We all have gifts and talents, and they're all different that we can bring to the table. Each one of us is supposed to do life with one another and bring the best out of each other. That's what we're designed to do. Now, this is a world that we live in that's, at the time of recording these devotionals, is seemingly hell-bent on dividing itself. This division only causes further isolation. Yes, arms are cool, but they're not cooler than a toe. I mean, debatable, but, go with me on this. All the body parts are awesome, and they're all created for a purpose, apart from the spleen. I haven't quite figured out what a spleen does, but apart from that, the whole body is important. The more different that we are, the more we need each other. As an individual body part like a finger, the finger needs the hand, or else it's just flopping around on the floor like a appendage that's been lopped off. It's pretty useless without the hand. Variety is essential. God created us unique, but to dwell together. We shouldn't let things that make us unique be the things that separate us, but rather they should be the thing that makes us depend on each other more and more. The term mutual dependence is a term that we should become more accustomed to in our culture. We cannot thrive as people if we insist on being independent. Like Paul says, if one part suffers, we all suffer. Where there is suffering, all of humanity groans. But where there is thriving, all of us can thrive. So look around and see how you can make an effort to reach out to those who are in need and close the lonely gap around you. Okay, it's time for a new book, and it's possibly the most R-rated book in all of the Bible. It's Song of Solomon. So this book is either written by Solomon or a book written about Solomon. It's either Songs of Solomon or Songs about Solomon. Anyway, it's written around 965 BC, and this title, Song of Songs, is a superlative, meaning that it's the best song out of all of the songs. This book is the only one in the Bible that has love as its sole theme, and it's a collection of sequential marriage songs. This song is didactic and moral in its purpose, showing that marriage and sexual faithfulness to one spouse is God's highest call for men and for women. The song we read in the chapters have been traditionally interpreted as showing God's love for his chosen people and showing Christ's love for the bride, the church. Now, Song of Solomon has been called the Christian love song. The key text of the book is in chapter 6, verse 3, and we're going to read that in the coming days. This is a song of love and marriage in Middle Eastern culture and imagery. The characters in the song are Solomon, the Shunammite maid, and the daughters of Jerusalem. The love of Solomon and the maid reflects the love between God and his people. As you read this book, you're going to have to try and filter your thoughts about all of what you're going to read through this filter of context. It's not just some random book about some random language. Try and filter it through the context of love between God and his people. Verse of the day. Verse of the day today, Song of Songs 12:15 says, "Catch for us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, our vineyards that are in bloom." See, it's the little things in relationships that ruins the whole vine. What are the little foxes for you? What are those little arguments, those little things that you haven't been able to resolve? What are those little arguments you keep having? Catch them. Don't let them run around, and stop letting them spoil the vine. And that is it for the Daily Brew today. Day 230 of 365 days done and dusted. Thank you so much for joining me here again for another day pumped. Thank you. No matter where you are, I'm praying for you as you read these scriptures that God speaks to you and reveals himself more to you. I pray that Jesus gets bigger and that his name gets larger in your life. Not just his name, to be honest, himself as a whole person gets larger in your life. Hey, massive thank you to all of you already on Spotify and Apple Podcasts who have taken a moment and followed and rated the podcast, and to you on YouTube. Thank you so much for following along and subscribing to the channel so that you never miss a devotional upload. It also helps get these out far and wide so more people can engage with the Word of God. That is it, though, for today. Thank you so much for joining me no matter where you are around the world. I pray God's blessing on you. I've already said that, but I just feel it even more today on day 230. Listen, we are getting close to 100 days. And like I said, I think a couple of days ago, it's not about that. What it is about every day building this discipline. But personally, as a personal achievement, 230 days is fantastic. So thank you so much for doing this journey. And well done. Let's keep going. Day 231 tomorrow. Until then, though, have a great rest of your day. If it is the start of your day, have a great rest of your day. Unless it's sleep time, good night, sleep tight. And we'll see you back here tomorrow for another day of the Daily Brew.